the demons of hell first.
Interesting. That
So
sounds
you,
like
so you know
some
things
great
aren't
concept.
you know things aren't gonna go well.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of stuff out there. Have you seen Everyone's Gone to the World's Fair?
I've never even heard of that.
It's supposed to be one of the better horror films of last year. I can't get a download of it. Shit comes out in Japan like quite late, unless it's Harry Potter or Marvel stuff,
Yeah.
Well,
and
hello,
a lot of stuff just doesn't
and welcome to Pixel Pints.
get released.
I let you go a little longer just because you were on a thread. We are the only global gaming podcast that shares about two great things, which is great beer and video games. I'm your host, Mitch. Keith is out for this week, but as always here in spirit. We'll get to that later. I'm joined by a esteemed group of people from around the globe, but mostly we're just in the States. So we get to stick to weather in degrees Fahrenheit, as it should. All the way from across the ocean of oceans, Evan Piotrowski, how you doing?
I'm doing well. What was I gonna say? I hurt my back. I went for a deep tissue massage, and wow, that guy, he got in there. It was so painful. I was almost biting my tongue, but I'm sure it was all for the best.
Oh, you feel so amazing the next like couple days after a deep tissue. I used to get those like once every couple months. It's amazing.
It's quite ironic that in order to stay healthy, I exercise, but then I hurt my back due to exercise. I guess that's how life is. Quite unfair. And then I got my analog pocket,
Nice.
and what you're currently looking at is a color version of Wario Land, which never came out.
We're actually
This is
looking at glare.
Doesn't
Yeah,
look like
there you go.
Wario Land in the cartridge.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like Pokemon Blue.
Oh no, that's Pokemon Blue, baby. That's my original. So, yeah, I've been doing some interesting things with this thing, and it's a really, really nice piece of kit, as the British would say. And it's beefy. I did not expect it to be this weighty. It feels like an original Game Boy. And
Now be
the
careful
guy
with
that
that
cuts
music. We don't want a copyright strike.
actually, I turned it off right now. The guy who cuts my hair happens to have an original Game Boy on like the side desk that he just lets people play. And so I picked them up, and I think this thing's heavier than the original Game Boy. It's not as thick, it's not as fat, but yeah, this thing is really, really nice. It took a year and several months for me to get to me, but yeah, I've been playing some TurboGrafx 16 games on here. The screen is beautiful. It's amazing. So
Before I
Yeah,
hop
that-
to the next person, I heard you're playing a game.
Oh,
on your
sure.
Switch.
Yeah, this will be quick. Well, still playing a game.
Oh, sorry, still. Oh
is
my
the most
God.
important word there.
Oh.
75 hours at level 70 in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the never-ending game. It's weird because Persona 4 was over 100 hours, Persona 5 was about 120, Dragon Quest 11 was about 100. I've fine to an extent with very long JRPGs. I've played all of those games that I listed. I love, like top tier JRPGs for me, and I'm an old school JRPG fan. I know Burkhoff is as well, but this one ain't it. It's way too long. It feels that long, and I'm gonna finish here. This is another. We need to do an episode on this. I am so sick of people being okay with boring means to an end side quests. They were in Horizon Forbidden Dawn, and on all these podcasts, everyone's saying that they were great. They're in so many other games where people say like, "Oh, those side quests were good." They're not good. They're bad. And if we want things to change and not become Pokemon fans and have to play the same game over and over because the fans have such low standards, and lack of critique towards the studio that makes it, we need to speak up about these side quests. These side quests suck. I skip every single conversation just so I can get the XP. I've never done that in a video game in my life. Everyone, I skip it. I don't even know what the side quest was about because I just go to the icon and do it and then skip
I was
it.
gonna
It
say,
is the most.
does it really matter what the side quest is if all it is accept, walk to icon, and then go turn in?
Go kill something, come back. That's
right.
Even
It's-
The Witcher
it's
is
bad.
that. But everyone
Yeah.
loves The Witcher 3 for it, but it's still it's on the basic level, it's the same exact thing.
At least
I would argue against The Witcher 3. I think that game highlights some of the better side quests in
I
a
think
video
the
game.
plot lines are great in that they line up and they do a bigger story and do more, but it's still the functioning, it's still the same. It's just how do you color over it to make it more appealing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's save this conversation for a full episode because I got a lot to say on this.
Last
crap.
question for
not
you.
Not putting up with it anymore.
Did you play Xenoblade Chronicles the first game?
Yeah, I loved it.
So between 3 and 1, what are you just hating 1 like no other, and hating 3 like no other, and 1 was way better?
1 was great. Like I didn't. Again, it's a very long JRPG. I put it up there with those really long ones. I should have mentioned that in the same breath of like a Dragon Quest 11 because that game's really really long too. But I didn't feel this drag like I do with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's just something about this game that the overarching story is interesting. I don't know if they'll stick the landing, but man, everything else is. I am just because you can auto battle in this game. I will get into a battle and hit the minus button, and then put my controller down, and I'll do something else until the battle's over. It's like, what am I doing?
How long did the battles take?
It depends. Luckily, enemies won't attack you if you're way more powerful than them. So anyone that engages with me, which is on equal ground, if they're a highlighted enemy, they have like a kind of a fiery icon. That those battles will take like 4 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Sometimes. So I just put my controller down and I do something else and I come back.
That's
That's how you should be
time.
playing video games, right? It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's old school Final Fantasy 12, just because it doesn't have all the quality of life stuff yet.
Yeah.
They should have done that in the game. Is put in the gambit system. That would have been great.
Moving
Auto-
on.
auto win.
Let you fucking hit the trigger to go faster.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, we have someone who is in a time zone that is exactly the same as mine. Burkoff, how you doing?
Yay. I'm doing all right, man. I've just been busy with work and personal stuff. Somehow, though, I did manage to sneak in 10 hours in Persona 3 Portable. So that's what I've been playing. Also a JRPG, an older school one. But I'm liking it. It's a little easier than most SMT games or even some of the other Persona games, but I've never played it, and I've never played Fez either. I tried to sit down to play it multiple times and just never actually got around to it. And then the fact that this is on Game Pass is perfect.
You didn't want to
So-
wait for the rumored remake that is possibly happening?
I mean, I don't know if they're actually gonna do it. They haven't come out and said anything.
True. And just it's
So
been hot gossip from
Yeah.
from the media. Yeah.
I mean, I've read the Resetera threads on it. I've read Reddit posts about it. A lot of the SMT YouTubers have talked about it, and they seem pretty confident that it's going to happen. But I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
all right. And then we have in my old time zone, actually in the old state I used to live in before I moved out here to LA. Stefan, how are you doing?
Doing good now. It was pretty hectic still. I mentioned on the Discord that our house kind of flooded because pipes burst because of renovations, and then they squirreled out of responsibility, which sucks. But now I'm doing my first professional game review, which is interesting because
Nice.
before that, I only reviewed a game like on Steam if I was compelled to do so, like if I loved it or I hated it. And so this time I went into it just to be analytical to begin with, and that game is Shoulders of Giants, and I don't like it at all. It's not good. It's not. It's the embargo is gone, so I can talk about it. But it's a roguelike co-op. You can play it single player, but the problem with the game is that when abilities drop for anyone, anybody can grab it. So like if a character another player grabs one of the abilities, they can just grab every ability on the map, and so other players are totally screwed, and it just and then you have no chance of winning the map. Um, and then there's 3 modes to play, and they're pretty much all balanced or unbalanced. So like there's all the balance in it is just terrible. I was telling Matt about it earlier. It's just really, really bad.
Yeah.
The enemies are either really easy or just brutally hard. It's on EGS and Xbox, but I would totally not recommend playing it.
You said
Not either,
That's
professionally,
what I've
but
been
I
doing
don't
lately.
think you said professionally, but I don't think you ever told us for who. Who are you?
Sidequesting.com.
Okay, nice.
Have you heard of them?
I have not personally, but
So
that's still
yeah, I found them through the Lonely TARDIS, which is a Doctor Who podcast, because Marcus Beer was on that, and then I followed from that to side questing, um, because the leader of that had this gaming website and Discord, and that's how I started doing that. And then he invited me to write for them after a couple years of hanging out on the Discord.
oh, that's
Awesome, man.
That's
And they
really
have a
good.
Yeah.
podcast too.
I
So yeah,
I still recall when I did my first review for Shane at Sifted. I think
Yeah.
that one was, oh my god, I know what game that was. That was oh geez. It was that Ubisoft shooter.
Oh,
It's not Rainbow
Hyperscape?
Six. What?
Was it Hyperscape?
No. It was
Could have been way longer than
it
that.
was the Ubisoft shooter that was not Rainbow Six, but it was like Ghost Recon. It wasn't Wildlands. It was the sequel to Wild.
Breakpoint?
Yes. And I gave it
Okay.
I did not give it a great review because I ended up having a bug where I couldn't complete the end of the game. And
Oh.
I that was when it had a bad showing, and that was my very first review. It was
Like for this, it's interesting because I don't like the game, but I like the experience that I'm going through to review it because it's teaching me so much.
Mhm.
So like this process of this analyzing this, but I hate playing the game.
you learn a lot as you do more of it. 'Cause I think my second eval ended up being for a fantasy, it was like a fantasy builder, where like you would build your hut and it's a survival game, but then it would have fantasy elements and you could ride a dragon, but it was like Dark Soulsy because certain areas would be extremely difficult enemies, and it was very too many things in one basket, and it wasn't
Yeah.
working for me either. So
Like-
I can feel you.
The next game I should be reviewing is called Whalian. That's like 2 to 3 hours long, so that should be way easier to review, and it looks funner. So it's like, but yeah, it should be. These next few weeks should be pretty interesting.
That's good. That's good.
Nice. Yeah.
So I've been playing some of the Hi-Fi Rush on Game Pass. Went back and got my $1 subscription. It's good. Hi-Fi Rush. I'm probably like 4 hours in. It's pretty good. I'm liking it. There are some things I have some problems with it too, though. But I think like the rhythm thing is really cool, and when it's on, but when it's off, it's really off.
Mhm.
And
In what way?
Or jumping is bad.
no, the jumping's fine. I think it's more of the elements of like everything is so focused on being on the beat that for the moments that you're not on the beat, you can't tell at times. Like the music is always on the beat. You have a visual that shows you if you're on the beat. You actually have an extra assistant you could add to the menu if you wanted to make sure you're on the beat. But when you're in the fiercest of combat, it's really hard to stay on the beat. Like it is easy when you're just smacking and doing it as a regular brawler of just like click, 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 click. But these enemies are shooting at you, and it's really hard to like do the dodges and the parries and get that all on beat, that it ends up being like a regular game and like has some moments of flashiness when you're actually on the beat. The other thing I'd say about this game, which I think is more of a negative than a positive, which is I'm 4 hours in already, and because everything has to be on the beat, it gets really annoying. Because, like, an example is a boss took off her gloves, and she had giant robotic hands, and literally hydraulics started to shoot out, but it didn't just shoot out; it had to shoot on the beat. So it's like, and it's like it's always that constant. There's always something that is shooting the beat in your ear at all times. That there is at moments where I'm just like, it would be fun if you played with the offbeat. Like it would be really interesting to try to do something fresh and new and play with the offbeat. And I'm not done with the game. It could do that eventually, but I really love the art style. The art style is awesome. Like the trailers, that is the whole game and more. It's a really pretty, it's a really beautiful game. I really like the licensed music in this game is fantastic. The made music from the game that they made is okay, but I really liked the way they used the licensed music. It's
so
really well done.
Mikey and you are on the opposite of that then.
Oh, did he say he didn't like the licensed music, but he liked the
Yeah, he said he preferred the
Original
other
score.
So for me, I guess it's because like, and part of me is like I used to be a music major in college, so I'm like have really sensitive ears to like music and stuff. I already know the entire loop of their regular soundtrack to the point where it's actually annoying for me to hear that. Actually, I find licensed music a reprieve for my ears. Even though like each level is different, it's still, because here's the other thing, and that's like, this is my other half of my issue, is the beat never changes its speed. Never. I've never seen the beat change its speed in the music so far. It's always
the tempo
stays the same, which I think in some ways it's good for the player to learn and be able to like really utilize the moves and stuff. But it really needs to change its tempo, because I think it really could be more creative, offer more different kinds of music. It's kind of samey with the type of music I'm getting, and I'm already 4 hours in, and I'm already just like, it played some light jazz in the middle of a sequence that was a cutscene, and I'm like, can we have this for a level? Like, I just really want a different tempo, a different genre besides this, like, this pop rock music, I guess. But I'm really liking the game. Like I think the characters, the writing's great, the art style is amazing. I'm hoping the whole beat mechanics will kind of evolve a little more for me, because I'm already 4 hours in, but I'm still learning new mechanics. I'm hopeful. I'm excited to keep playing it. But I do have to sometimes, I think I took 2 breaks on it because I could not take the music any longer because it was too samey for me. I was like, I need a break from this music. But the rest of it has been fantastic.
Sackboy, A Big Adventure, has great licensed music for their levels. I don't know if you've ever played those.
No, I've not. No, not yet.
Because it's always different tempos for those levels.
Well, and that's what you want. You want to, it helps set the tone of the environment you're in. And the issue I have so far is I've been to multiple environments already, and because the tempo has been the same and the music has generally been around the same, each environment really hasn't felt as distinct as I liked it to be. Like it would have been really cool to have like a smooth jazz area where the beat's a little slower and the tempo's a little lower, or like a place where it's like EDM music and the beat's so much faster. Like it's just there's so many ways to play with it. They don't, unfortunately.
And Sackboy platforms like move like according to the beat. and since it's a different level, like the songs would be different, the tempo would like totally move the platforms and differently compared and with each level, which is that's a good platforming mechanic there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like yeah, they encourage you to be on the beat. They have a lot of cues to make sure that you're on the beat. Like I think if there's anything, they've done so much of a good job to make sure you're on the beat that when you're off the beat, it's so off-putting, which I think is to their success, but to their detriment. But yeah, I will though try to finish it and come back with my final thoughts on it. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I have some issues, but so far the things I really like, I really like. So this is a good showing from Tango. I've been a fan of Tango for a while, but this is nice to see something kind of fresh and new from them.
I'm just amazed that this game came out of nowhere. Like nobody talked about it or knew about it ahead of time. It just freaking just materialized.
Well, technically the game got spoiled the day before, but the
Well,
event
you know what
shadow
I mean,
dropping
like-
did not that was not spoiled, fortunately.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who we are, I forgot this part. We are Pixel Pints. We're the only gaming podcast that provides two great things as good beer and video games. We stream live here on twitch.tv/pixelpints every single weekend. If you want to check us out, you just go to twitch.tv/pixelpints. And if you want to know when we're streaming every single weekend, you go to Twitter, go to pixel_pints, Instagram, Pixel Pints Pod. We just post pictures. That's all we do on Instagram. It's not a big deal. But on Twitter, we'll post when we go live. And then we archive all our episodes here on twitch.tv/pixelpints. But then we also archive them on YouTube and any podcasting servicer around the globe.
Excuse me.
So we talk about good beer. I mean, we talk about good video games, but we also talk about good beer. So it's time, gentlemen, for some beer talk. I do not have beer this time because I'm just very tired. The other thing is take care of your mental health. If you're always try to take a siesta if you need it. Like for myself, I needed it, so I've been very tired lately. So energy drink for me.
So I picked up some 805 Firestone Walker. I've had this on the show before.
Wait, how many milliliters are in that?
It's 805 milliliters, bro.
This is I don't know if it has the milliliters. It's in ounces.
Okay, for audio listeners, this can that Burkhoff is holding is gigantic. It's
No,
like
dude, my hands
it's like
are
a
just
quart.
His
It's
hand.
like a quart of beer.
Yeah, can you wrap your whole hand around that? Is that possible? Can you get
tiny.
the
Just
whole?
barely.
See, it's not even standard football.
Yeah, it's like a tall boy, but it looks like the girth of.
I mean, literally,
two
the
tall
dog,
boys
It is a
put
bit
together.
thicker.
literally your
It is a
dog
bit
walked
thicker.
in and then turned around because it saw the can and said, "Oh lordy, I need to get the
oh,
hell
man.
out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm drinking tonight. Yeah, I've had this on the show before. I've talked about it, so nothing too special.
What do you got,
Uh,
Evan?
So I pulled out all the stops this time. If I
Keith's
had a
not here.
cellar, I would temperature control this beer. It's very, very important. Had to make a couple calls to get it done. I am drinking a lovely PBR.
Nice.
Check that out.
That's right.
All right,
you-
cheers, sir.
You chose from your selection of your imported goods from the airport.
Actually, I found this yesterday
Oh,
at a
No.
local liquor store. Yeah.
wait! Please
That's
don't tell
why
me
I
you
was-
drank
I
all
was
your
shocked.
imported stuff
Dude,
already.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
still have most of it left.
Oh, okay.
how much was the PBR?
The equivalent of probably one of these, about $2.50.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. Okay.
No.
No. So
No.
a 12 pack is $10 here.
Yeah.
So for
Okay.
imported, it's like, you know, not quite double, or maybe a little over double.
Yeah. So I did go. Ooh, I got the 2 of clubs at the bottom one
Nice.
bottle cap, which is a thing that PBR does.
Yeah.
So if listeners don't know, I don't really know who listens to this show. I live in Japan. I'm
Everyone
from Milwaukee.
listens to the show, Evan. We're a global
Okay.
podcast.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're all right. Excuse me. Apologies. And you can't get PBR out here. So when I was in the store yesterday, I was very surprised to see PBR. Is it worth that much? You bet it is. I'm
I think
really
it is,
excited to
yeah.
drink this. It's 4.6%. I don't know if we need to get into the flavor profile of a PBR. I'm just gonna enjoy this and think about Milwaukee. Oh yeah. Yes, it's all coming back to me now. Stumbling home drunk, blackouts, 24-hour hangovers. I'm just
Please
kidding.
drink responsibly.
Please drink responsibly. This is actually my second beer of today. It is Sunday. But yeah, I somehow, some way, Yamaya decided to import some PBR. And
That's awesome.
weirdly enough, you can get Budweiser basically anywhere in Japan. They sell it by the can though, not by I don't even think there's 6-packs. You can't get Miller. I've seen MGD here, but I'm guessing what they'll do is they'll buy it in batches like a pallet, and once they go through the product, they just won't necessarily buy it again. That's why you won't be able to find it after several months. But I've never seen PBR here, so I might pop in and pick up a bottle or two just because it's like a taste from home. It's not an amazing beer, but I've always liked PBR as kind of a go-to beer. Burkoff, I know you do too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice.
That's my go-to for sure.
As long as they have, I might as well get it in while I can because I'm guessing they probably bought a bunch of pallets of it, and once they're through that stock, it's not going to be on the shelves again.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you guys see the thing I posted on for my home state, Minnesota, on the beer channel?
Oh,
From
let's check.
well,
Yeah, it sounded like it. Yeah, let me jump to it. I don't remember what it was exactly.
Are you familiar with the Modest Brewery? They, Hormel cheese.
Yeah.
They made a Hormel chili beer. The brewery, that's their newest beer.
Does it taste like chili cheese?
Yeah, that's
apparently. Yeah.
So you haven't tried it? You don't know?
No, I can't drink, so it's
You can't drink
okay.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
I wonder. It's definitely a beer that I would try just out of curiosity because I know Hormel chili as well.
Yeah.
There is a brewer in I think it's Hyogo. I think he's a French guy. He owns a brewery in Japan. It's called DD4D. I don't know what it stands for, but he is into his experimental beers. He has a like Tabasco sauce beer. He has a mint chocolate chip beer. I don't like that type of stuff. I don't get it. I guess I'm glad it exists because it's something different, but it's definitely I'll try it once because I want to know what this tastes like, but it's not enjoyable per se. Having said that though, I would definitely try a chili cheese beer. I have to know. I have to know what it tastes like.
You're talking about gimmicky beers. There's a brewery out here that does a jalapeno beer that's actually really good. It's a jalapeno wheat.
Or try that.
Yeah.
If I could, I would try that.
Sure. Yeah, give it all one try.
It's perfect for your chips and salsa,
If you're out of salsa, just start drinking this Tabasco like chili beer and eat a chip afterwards.
You do the chili beer and then tomato paste and then dunk the chip in and you're good.
Man, this sounds like a YouTube channel in the making. You got to start it up though. You got to keep the algorithm going. So you got to backlog like 8 episodes of weird combinations of shit.
It's our Pixel Pints 3 a.m. episode where we just do late night snackage.
Sure. Just get
my chicken nuggets.
Just get a 6-pack where each beer is a different flavor of nachos, basically. And by the time you drink it, you've had a full nachos.
There you go.
What we need to do is a blind taste test where if I ever get in Vegas, Burkoff, or you ever get in LA, like one of us has to do on the show hand the other person
just a random ass
beer that has a flavor and see if you can guess the flavor profile.
Okay.
I like that. That'd be a palatable pints episode. We gotta have Dan on though. He thought of that.
Yeah.
I know.
And I still feel bad he sent me like 6 beers and I never got them. Thanks for spending the money. Yeah.
The customs agents got to drink those beers.
They enjoyed them for what it's worth. Moving on, it's time for our topic of the weekend. And that is, gentlemen, there's a shit ton of games coming out this year. Like a boatload. Like more than you can imagine. Because I'm just going to name some off the top of my head. Well, I can just name from my brain. We'll see. We have Pikmin, Legend of Zelda, potentially a new Mario game. We have Spider-Man 2. We have Final Fantasy 16. We have Hogwarts Legacy. We have Forspoken. We have Fire Emblem. Engage. We have Starfield, Redfall, Forza. We have the Dead Space remake. We have Resident Evil 4 remake. I mean,
Forspoken.
I already did that one. But that's
Okay.
19.
You don't need to mention that game.
That's 19 off the top of my head. Oh, we have Jedi Survivor. How in the world are we going to play all these games? Which then brought up the question, gentlemen. How many games is really too many games in one calendar year for a person of our interest to play? Burkoff.
How many is too many?
Is this too many? And then if so, how many do you feel like you need in a calendar year?
I mean, you can never have too many games. We've had this glorious problem for a few years now. But
How's that to your backlog?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So, like, I'm still trying to play through shit that came out 2 years ago, or 10 years ago. So I don't know. I feel like I get through maybe 5 or 6 games a year total, just with the time that I have available.
How many do you play though?
Yeah, how many do you actually play though, Burkoff?
Because I know you're a bit different. You'll dabble in games and then finish 5 or 6. What do you think you play in a calendar year on
Same
average?
way.
Maybe 20 games is what I play, and then of those I finish maybe 5.
Because here's the other problem: all these games are huge. Like these games are 60-hour games probably. Like, do you have that much time to commit to your backlog while future games come out?
I don't. I don't know about anybody else here.
So how many is the perfect amount for you in a calendar year?
I think 5 is the perfect amount.
Okay, it's fair.
Just one over a quarter of the year.
Okay, Evan, is there too many games?
Yeah, there are too many games. I think having something like Game Pass would break me because it would just add to the amount of choice that I have. And I to an extent, I like that the PlayStation Plus middle tier selection is not great, because then it just keeps me from the psychology of choice where, what is it? If you offer 12 or more selections, you have trouble choosing, the whole Netflix scrolling for 20 minutes type of deal. I don't have that. Reason that it's
Evan, hold on. Would you say that the quantity is not as great, but the quality is still good for that
PlayStation?
For that PlayStation middle tier?
No,
because you get
no,
games,
because I wouldn't play 80% of those games.
Because like you got Forspoken on there. I mean, not Forspoken. I'm sorry. I meant shit. What is that one with Housemarque? What's that Housemarque game? Jesus.
Returnal.
There's Returnal on there that recently came out. You got the Demon Souls remake that's on there. Like, you got
Deathloop was added.
Spider-Man Miles Morales is on there. Basically all the first party that hasn't came out in the last 12 to 18 months is on that platform. Is that considered bad quality?
No, but I've played all of the games that I want from those games, and something like Returnal I'm not going to play because I don't like roguelites. So for someone who maybe just who's stepped away from PlayStation for a generation or so and then came to it, it's a great selection, right? Okay. There's so many games out there, but for me who's played most of those games, it's not necessarily. And then the problem with me is where Burkoff will dabble in games, and if he leaves a game behind, it's out of his mind. He doesn't feel bad about it, which is probably the way to think about these things. There's something in my brain that cannot get, like, even if I don't like a game, I'll beat it. Sometimes even get the platinum just because I spent the money on it. And Spiritfarer was a free game on the middle tier PlayStation Plus thing. It's the only game I abandoned last year, and I still think about it. I'm like, I think I need to go back to it. And I didn't pay for it.
Evan, you
My
Uh,
wife loves that game. My wife 100%ed it.
I'll never touch
My
it.
my brother is mostly like he loves his medieval fantasy stuff. That's
Right.
He loved like Skyrim, The Witcher. He plays all of those games. Randomly, he's playing Tunic now. He said he loves it. Thank God. Someone's talking about this game. What a ridiculous. Anyways, so, and then he was just like, "Oh yeah, Spiritfarer, I loved it." And I was like, "Really?" He's just not the type of person I think would like the game. But so that's my issue, where maybe there are too many games, because if I dedicate myself to a game, I need to finish it. And then how many games does that leave me if I'm spending X amount of time on a game that I play and I'm not going to drop it because I paid money for it? So there is
Right.
that in and out. That being said, I looked at the amount of games that I've at least finished the last 2 years. In 2021, I finished 38 games and got
Jesus.
21 platinums.
Wait, how
And then
many of
last
those?
year-
How many of those were for like AAA, and how many of those were indie?
You do play a lot of
Persona.
indie game.
I do. There's a ton in there, but I did play through
Percentage wise,
Stuff like
could you make a
Disco.
guesstimation? Like, would you?
I
say,
mean, I
like,
played some pretty beefy games. I would say maybe 40% of these games are pretty big
Okay,
games.
gotcha. Okay,
And then last year I finished 28 games and 22 platinums. So I do play a lot of games, and I do platinum a lot of games. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily the quantity of games that bothers me about 2023. It's I don't know. Maybe there aren't too many games. I'm not quite sure, because I like what I like, and I pretty much already know what I want to play. And it's a manageable list, I think, because I will play my 100 plus hour JRPG a year, and that's where I cut that off. And then I do play a lot of smaller games, as you've just mentioned, which helps me play more games. So I don't know.
well,
I don't think there are too many
until we
games,
get into the
so,
list, and then you can really tell me if you really can do it.
I might walk this entire statement back. We'll see. But yeah, maybe not. I choose my
Stefan.
games
Oh,
wisely. I
Evan,
think.
how many games would you? How many games is like perfect for you in a year? Big games. Now
I remember
I'm talking about the AAA big games. How many big
Okay,
games
let's see.
would you want in a year?
Let me look through last year. God of War. Stop me if you don't think this is a big game. God of War, Deathloop, The Last of Us Part 2. Stray doesn't count. Yakuza 6 is a big game. Horizon Forbidden West. Actually, that's 5. Okay. Let's just say, I would say that's the level, that's the tier of games you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
the kind of games
yeah.
that I mentioned.
The
Okay.
big ones, because the only games I mentioned so far were just AAA games.
Sure. And you know what? I guess most of the games that I played were a bit smaller. Probably about 6 or 7. I don't know if I could do 7 60+ hour games a year. That seems like a lot.
Stefan, are there too many games this year? What's your thoughts? What's going on
Yeah.
here?
So I look at it as in there are games like God of War that I can beat within a couple weeks of just playing, a lot of hours. Maybe 3 weeks. So that's not too difficult. But then like if it's a game like The Legend of Zelda or what was the not Skyrim, but what's the my mind is
Starfield?
blanking because Starfield. Thanks. My mind is going because I'm so tired. But like something like that where you can play it for years. I don't really put that on my radar as it on that list or like Diablo 4, because I could buy it that year, but be playing it every year for the foreseeable future. It doesn't really bother me too much in that regard. And I'm like Matthew too, where like I'll probably play and complete like 5 games a year, but actually play a ton of the bigger ones. That being said, there are a shit ton of games coming out this year. But I do think if you look at it from the perspective that a lot of these games, you can look at them as like you can be playing them for like 5 years times, and it's not that bad. If
Okay.
that
Right.
makes sense.
Okay. I'm kind of in agreement. I think there are too many games. I'm actually more on the Evans side, though. I could do 6 or 7 a year. It takes me about, I want to say about a month if I'm doing it casually. Now, if I'm going hardcore, straight core like that, God of War Ragnarok, like straight into the veins, that thing went
4 days.
Yeah, 4 days. Like,
All right, hold on, Mitch. Before you explain your philosophy and how you tackle games, there is a disclaimer. Mitch is like super. If a game is 50 hours long, on average, Mitch will finish it in 29 hours.
Yeah.
that
Okay.
is no
Somehow,
joke.
some way, this guy will be like, "Oh my gosh, The Last of Us
Oh,
Part 2. It took
it was
me
only-
4
it was-
hours to finish. It
Yeah,
was
it was only
beautiful."
10
Yeah.
hours.
I'm the
Yeah.
total opposite of that. I like for God of War Ragnarok, I spent like 80, 90 hours in it and did
Wow.
everything. I did everything 100%. Did you platinum and do like everything in that game?
Yeah, I plan him 100% that at maybe 40 hours, maybe
What
less.
difficulty? What difficulty?
Just the standard.
Well, that doesn't count. No, just kidding.
Yeah, no.
I'm not doing an Evan
That will be
playthrough.
part of it. That will be part of it. Well, and Mitch comes out as a happier person because of it.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Yeah, I screw myself with all that type of stuff. But as a disclaimer, Mitch is like, I don't know how this guy completes games as quickly as he does, but that is part of it.
That's what.
He completes a lot of
I-
games very quickly.
why-
Okay, sorry, Mitch.
No, it's fine.
Real quick, up to the very end. The only thing I didn't do on Give Me Mercy was I don't want to spoil things for people, but it was one of the post game bosses.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do complete games very quickly, so like I got God of War done in 3 days. But yeah, don't look at me like that. I didn't platinum it. I took some time away after that, and then I went back and actually like platinumed it in a week. So like it took me some more time, but yeah, I need, if I'm casually playing games, I need a month. And I'm really interested in playing it. And especially if a game is going to be like to the average consumer, like 60 plus hours. Yeah, I'm going to need that. Yeah, I don't know. I just, that's just kind of how
do-
I am.
You do tend to play like the action AAA games too.
Yeah,
Right, like the ones that have like very directed stories and
not totally.
stuff like that.
Not always. I just think my strategy is usually always that if you want to, here's the quick Mitch guide of like, you want to complete a game like Mitch, here's the guide.
Okay.
There's two requirements. One, you do every possible side mission in the beginning of the game. You do every possible one that you can do, because then you become powerful enough that you're going to skim through all the easy stuff throughout the rest of the half of your playthrough. And then you just ease in a couple side missions here and there as you get farther in the game, and do the ones you want, and then not miss anything that's like important or anything like that. And then 2, just play a shit ton of Resident Evil, because when you learn how to play Resident Evil, you learn to not leave any place unturned. I love how Evan's taking notes. You always learn to never leave a room without a missing item in there, because you always don't want to backtrack. It's a pain in the ass. And so therefore you clear that ass out of that room before you move on, because you actually could get something you could have used later. those are the two tips I could give to any player. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is
All right.
I think there are too many games. There's a lot of 60 plus clocked hour games coming up. And like even ones I personally want to play, I can think of more than 6, which is actually kind of nerve-wracking to me. Which wants me to pose the question to you all is there a game that we believe is coming out this year that you think should just get the hell out of this year, go to next year, be more comfortable, give us some space, some breathing room? Like we got to breathe, right? Because like there's still games that potentially haven't been announced yet that like we would be playing this year as well. Because like Microsoft hasn't done any, Nintendo hasn't talked about their lineup, so like there's a lot.
I'm still chipping away at Forza Horizon 5.
That's okay.
So
Forza Motorsport's not even the better one anyway. You want
well, no, but I'm saying actually I would prefer Motorsport, only because I'm a Gran Turismo dude.
I see.
Yeah, I put, I don't know, at least 400 or 500 hours into GT4 when that came out. So I like the sim aspect of it. But yeah, so I wouldn't be mad if Forza Motorsport just like appeared in 2025.
Well, that ain't happening. Well, and also like I think actually in the context that you're using, which is really interesting. You know, I said I play like probably 5 to 7 games a year, and I still have time to play Madden. And when I went to go check like my, you know, PlayStation does like what did you play most this year? I played more Madden than any other of my lineup. I was
Wow.
There were a couple of games that were close seconds and thirds, which was God of War Ragnarok. Well, actually, there wasn't a close second or third because I probably cracked more time in Madden than my top 4 games combined. But that's just because 1, I speed through them so quickly, but then 2, I always fill in an hour of Madden here or there every single day, even in between my playthroughs of other things to like, you know, spice things up. Like heck, I played 2 hours of Madden today.
I see you playing League of Legends a lot of nights too. Like, how the fuck do you fit that in? Like, League of Legends, one match is an hour at least, right?
Hey, I got friends to play with, which equals enjoyment. Don't take that away from me.
I'm not criticizing you playing the game. I'm just saying, how do you fit it into your schedule?
Yeah, how many hours of sleep do you get? That's the question.
Not enough, but that's okay.
Okay.
This is the life I choose to live. But yeah, yeah. But anyway,
about your question,
yeah.
One that I was thinking is like I grew up playing all the Diablo games, and speaking about like how that's a game that I could see myself playing for like many years. The 4th one, I mean, I don't want it coming out this year because there's so much to play.
Yeah.
Might as well Baldur's Gate on that list too while you're at it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I would also rather it coming out more after they could figure more of their shit out, from a company perspective too. You know, get more of that squared away. So yeah.
To be fair, there probably are games that are going to come out this year that will be much better games next year after they've had time to improve them and patch them and do all that kind of stuff. Because Diablo 3 came out and it was meh. But after they got to the Reaper of Souls edition or whatever, like it was a legit fun game.
Well, also like titles will get eaten by each other, unfortunately. Like, because there's just so many bangers hitting this year that like there will be the snubs, not just snub.
Right.
There's gonna be snubs of 2023 this year for awards and recognition and time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Evan's Tunic Game of the Year. It's basically Keith, you're listening. I know you listen to every episode. We should name the most snubbed game the Tunic Award for Evan.
Should. No one
Okay.
talked about that game.
So
Was it even mentioned during the
I said,
Anyways,
was you nominated?
I have one more
You
game.
nominated.
I have
it.
one more game to. No, I meant for the Game Awards. Did anyone even say Tunic? That entire 4
Yeah,
hour.
Yeah, it was nominated.
It was nominated.
It was
No,
nominated.
was it on screen?
Yes, it was
just on
nominated.
screen, but no one actually
Yeah.
said it.
They said
Okay.
that. Oh yeah, they know. Yeah, it was on screen. They never said the name.
Nominated. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
Sorry.
I will say I filled my JRPG quota for the year. Octopath Traveler 2 can move the fuck to 2024
Holy
because
shit,
I cannot
that's-
play
That's coming out
another
this year
80
too?
hour.
oh yeah, it
Dude,
comes
that's an
out-
80-hour JRPG, hands down.
Doesn't it
It's-
come out
it's
in
gonna
like
be
3
that
months
level.
or something? It comes out in the first half of the
Yeah,
year.
Jesus.
I don't got time.
I forgot
filled
about
my
that
quota
game.
for the year.
Don't worry, Burkoff. You still got to play Final Fantasy 7 remake.
7
integrated.
remake. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I'm still
This is
waiting,
nice-
so I
this
know
is
how
nice
many hours
100.
I got on
Well,
the clock.
I'm waiting for a sale because I agreed to too many games that are full price right now.
You should not agreed to that. Okay. Any last go arounds of a game you're like, this should move. It's gonna be a banger year.
As excited as I am for Fire Emblem Engage, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to play it this year.
Oh, I'm not gonna touch it at all. I really loved Fire
I
Emblem
really-
Three Houses,
I-
but I will not be touching Engage.
So-
Based on reviews, because I've been sort of avoiding all that stuff. I haven't watched a review or read anything about
They just said like Engage is basically, like Fire Emblem Three Houses without like the daily sim stuff you get with Persona 5, but
it, which I'm not mad about.
not mad about. I just don't have the time for it.
Right.
I mean, I would prefer to save my time because like I don't want to buy it and then start playing it and then have to like put it down in the middle.
Right. Yeah.
Like I would like to commit my time to something that I buy because I spent my money on it. I'm like Evan in a sense but I'm really, really, really finicky with my money. Like I mostly have to know I'm going to like the game if I'm going to buy it at full price. There's only one game I will buy, but I will not buy it at retail full price. I will only buy a used copy, and that is Hogwarts Legacy because I'm not supporting J.K. Rowling. I will support the game store that sells it at a used copy. Thank you very much.
I'll quickly add that I have a list. I couldn't think of the name. So with Hollow Knight, I don't care if it doesn't move, but like I might just wait until because DLC is going to come out for that, like they did with the last game. So it might just be better just to wait until that is a complete game, like next year or 2 years down the line, and just buy that. And that's kind of what I'm thinking for that.
Silk Song is the one that's coming out.
Yep, Silk Song.
It started as DLC, didn't it? Though
I don't think they ever clarified that.
Actually, I don't know that. Yeah.
Okay.
So before we move on, I do want to note that Keith had said to you, Evan, if you have not read it yet, he has said Tunic got nominated for a Game Award, Evan. Get the fuck over it. Anyway, moving on. What we are going to do is we're going to play.
I will never get over it.
We're going to play a little game. So if you go on Twitter a lot, there's a lot of these like little fun games they like to play. They show a bunch of images of a bunch of games and they say like pick 3. If you could only play 3, pick 3.
You arranged them in blocks, so we have to choose.
No. Now some of them just list out all the games. Some of them put them in blocks and say you can only have these specific games. Pick one group of games. So we decided because there's just too many games, we're gonna have to say let's sacrifice and let's only pick 3. Now to decide what games go on the list, McWomble would be very proud of me. The games that go on the list, and I will hit the send button now for you fellas so you guys can see what the games are. The games are based off of what we nominated or drafted for what we drafted for our Pixel Pints games. And then added any game that was mentioned for the most anticipated games episode for 2023. Now, unfortunately, our most anticipated nominees for 2022 did not make it because it is 2023, people. And unfortunately, those did not make the list. So what is on the list? I will read them out for you too as well. So these are anything that made the fantasy draft. The only thing I did not post on the fantasy draft was worst game because I know we would just never pick it. So it's just not worth our time to put it on the list. But anyway, Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, Blasphemous 2, Wukong, replaced the Coalition's new game, Starfield, Redfall, Age of Empires 2 remaster, Senua Saga, Hellblade Senua Saga, Hellblade 2 Senua Saga, Stalker 2, the Curse of Benedict Fox, Planet of Luna, Final Fantasy 7, what's that? Rebirth. Thank you. I gotta pull these up so it's better. Okay, Rebirth.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2, Final Fantasy 16, Forspoken, Spider-Man 2, Horizon VR Call of the Mountain, Chucha, Fantavision 22X, Silent Hill 2
picked
Remake,
that?
Stellar Blade, Season that was Erebus Jones. Stellar Blade, Season of something, whatever. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Armor Wars.
No, Advance Wars.
Yeah, 1
Advance
plus
Wars
2.
1, 2.
Fire Emblem
Reboot
Engage, Rain Code, Metal Slugs Tactics, Kirby Deluxe Edition, Pikmin 4, Madden, Forza, MLB The Show, Skate, UFL, Blood Bowl, Assassin's Creed Mirage, PGA Tour, Fight Boxing something, Football Manager.
Fitness boxing, fist of the North Star.
Thank you. Sorry, my image is just way smaller, so I'm just trying to go. Football Manager, F1, and Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown. So those are what either we nominated on, we either mentioned on our most anticipated list or was on our fantasy drafts for this year. So unfortunately, there are some snubs on this list, but you can only pick 3.
Only pick 3.
You can.
I think we can already get rid of Forspoken.
You can't get rid of anything.
I
Wait, what?
respectfully disagree.
You just don't pick it. Hey, some people like Forspoken. Don't just hate on it just because. Did you not see Matt, Kyle, and Shane Satterfield enjoying Forspoken?
I didn't, but yeah.
They enjoyed it compared to all the other people. So there's people that enjoy Forspoken. Don't hate on that.
All right.
So we're all coming up with their own thoughts, right?
Your own pick 3.
Okay.
I'm
someone
really glad.
if someone picks it, does it take it off the
No.
the table? Okay. Sorry, Burkoff. You were saying.
I'm really glad that you didn't group these, because I was like, I was dreading like there being one good game and then having to stick with 2 others that were just horrible. So at least we could do a la carte, and I can pick my own 3 out of this list.
Yeah, but you only get 3, and there's a lot of good ones on this list.
I think there's a lot of good games on here. I think I have 3 out of this list though that
All right.
for sure I'm gonna play.
Go for it. What is your 3, and the rest will go into the pit of misery.
These are the 3 games that I did pick as part of my fantasy draft. Black Myth, Wukong, Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Actually, you did not pick Wukong in your draft, by the way.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you only just put it as one of your most anticipated episode.
Oh, all right, okay.
Sorry, so you said Wukong. What was the second one?
Wukong, Assassin's Creed Mirage. And then I'm debating between Metal Slug Tactics and Fire Emblem Engage. I'm going to go with Fire Emblem. I'm going to retract what I said earlier.
I can't believe you didn't even touch Starfield.
I didn't touch Starfield. No, because that game is going to be much better in 2025.
No, it's gone forever. You can't play it. That's the point. You can't play it anymore. You know what? In future, what we should do the stakes is like you can only pick 3 games to play this year.
Yeah. That would be so mean. Let's just turn this podcast into like it's like soul crushing decisions.
We have podcast.
I could easily get 200 hours out of Engage. For sure.
We would still keep our logo. We'd still keep our logo the PP, the punishment podcast, instead of Pixel Pints.
Yeah. And Assassin's Creed will probably be at least 100 hours. Just checking off the list.
What are you talking about? They said this is going to be a condensed version
Mirage
of
is supposed to be. Yeah, it's. You
Way
know how
less.
Ubisoft does it. You
I'm
know
sorry.
how
Are you
Ubisoft
saying
does
that?
it,
Are
dude.
you saying the last Assassin's Creed was 200 hours and 100 hours is condensed for them?
Rafa is still playing that shit with all the
But
DLC.
Rafa plays everything, and he plays it forever. Like, did
I'm
you
just-
not
I'm
see?
just saying.
I would be curious to know how many hours he's logged into GTA Online. I really would love to see the number.
It's on.
I think
If you just go off of last year, it's on par with Valhalla. I'm sure.
It's got to
Because
be.
he's talked so much about that game.
He's got to hit at least 5,000 hours. Like, I would not be shocked.
No.
Mitch, I'd be curious to know how long it would take you to beat Valhalla. If you, since you said you played game
I
really
refuse
fast.
to touch that garbage.
25
10
hours.
to 11 hours. Watch Mitch. He'll do it in 11.
Do you
with
know
the
how
DLC.
much I threw a fit when I played Odyssey and I realized when I got like 3 hours in that I was just playing the prologue? I was pissed. I was like,
Oh, doesn't the title screen pop up after?
Yeah. I was like,
You
come
gotta
on,
stop that.
man. Don't. He's like, you're wasting my time. You're
You
wasting
should-
my time.
Mortals, if you haven't played that, that's still worth playing.
Diablo Immortal?
No, Ubisoft's Immortal game, Immortals. It's
Phoenix
free.
Rising.
Oh,
Immortals,
Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought about it.
So-
if it's free, I'll play it. I'm not
It's
not
on.
buying it.
It's on Game Pass.
Well,
I
I guess when I
I
finish
put-
Hi-Fi Rush, I could give it a shot then.
put maybe, what is it, 6 or 7 hours into the beginning. So if you put 7 hours into it, you'll hit a point where it unlocks everything, and you're like, oh, okay, I finally know what the rest of this game is. I hit that point, and I was like, I see the checklist. I'm checking out. Like, there's no way that I'm dumping this much time in. Because you could see everything that was on the list. Like, yeah.
If anyone
I
knows
planned
me
a
best,
plan of it.
if anyone knows
It
me
is a
best,
fun game, though.
it's the fact that if a game gives me homework, I'm out. That's not my job. My job is not to do homework for you. My job is to be entertained. And as Burkhoff said, a checklist of homework is like, Evan, a checklist of homework is like pointless side quests, and I can't stand it. Anyways,
Well, I wouldn't call it that, but yeah.
Evan, do you have your list of 3? Do you have your 3?
Actually, you tried to make it some sort of grueling, difficult decision. This is the easiest choices I will probably make in a really long time. What you should have done, Mitch, is hired a couple people on Fiverr to chloroform us. Now, if I would have been walking home from work and I got chloroformed and I woke up in a saw-like room with like a chain to my ankle and a PlayStation controller and Forspoken in front of me, that would have been horrifying.
Oh no, don't worry, Evan.
No, anything
Don't
but
worry,
that.
Evan. There's going to be a second part to this game, so the torture has not started yet.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh.
This is the easy
You have
part.
learned too much from McWomble. This is scary. I don't like this, Mitch. So before the rules get punishing Pints, it goes Blasphemous 2, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16. Everything else, let it burn. Burn in hell.
Is Lies of P up there?
It is not, because it was not in the most anticipated list. It was nominated in the Game Awards in 2022, though. So it did
We're
not
confusing.
make the
We're
list.
confusing those lists because those were back to back. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No RE4 remake, but that's a remake, so it wasn't eligible, right? Otherwise,
No, it was
I would have
eligible. It wasn't.
Oh,
It wasn't.
no one picked it?
No one picked it for. Well, we didn't have any third parties.
Fair
Right.
enough.
And then on
If
top
if
of
that was included, it would have been a more of a difficult decision between FF16 and the remake of 4.
I like how Liam's got to ruin it for me. He's like, Wukong is delayed until 2024. All right, well, I guess I'm not playing it this year.
We need Liam on every episode because I'll say something and then he'll just like actually
Yeah.
this is the true part of that. I'm like, okay, thank you for clarifying that. Otherwise, yeah, he's here. Like, you know how a lot of podcasts they'll have the corrections episode. If Liam was on
He
our
is the
podcast
corrections,
every single,
yeah.
there would be no corrections portion of the podcast because he makes sure that we don't get those emails
As he says,
slash mentions.
he.
Yeah.
So my list, while I have Stefan waiting for his.
Well, I got mine.
Oh, you got yours?
Yeah, yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go and
Start.
then I'll let you hop in.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do. Oh yeah. Final Fantasy 16. Hellblade 2. And Spider-Man 2.
Wait. Why are you on the clock, man? You didn't decide. You're the one that made this graphic. You didn't decide.
I know.
beforehand?
I still didn't decide either. Like
He's
these,
still debating it.
I have many that I want to play on this list that I cannot.
Sure.
So all right,
So-
Stefan, go for it.
Well, actually, I should just clarify. Is this that the games that burn for us, we can never play again, or just this a year?
This is not a legit thing. It's just like
I
imaginary,
know,
but
but
it's a
but, like-
burn. It's like you cannot touch it. Like if you could only touch 3 games ever, which 3 are
The
you going
game's
to touch?
gone. Yeah.
okay. Since I never finished the first Zelda, I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna, or I'm gonna say I don't care about the second Zelda. Then I'll
Good man.
just say, I thought it was overrated. Hogwarts, Jedi, and Benedict Fox.
Nice.
Wow,
Okay.
interesting list. Interesting.
Because that Benedict Fox looks like the next Ori to me, like in terms of quality for like a Metroidvania, and I need another great Metroidvania,
Okay.
like 2D one. I mean,
Totally. Now for this, you guys might need the stream up just because it will be a little easier. But the second half of this torture that I'm implying on top of you all is that because you picked games from the list,
Do we only get to play like something that other people have picked?
they are gone from the list.
Oh, so we have to pick like the next 3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, sorry, Mitch. What I meant to say was Madden 5th Division 2020X and UFL. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Damn it. Okay, I like this because then what is your next 3, right?
Yes, but
Interesting.
just give me 1 second. I just got to. I'm trying to get rid of some of these on the list. You did Blasphemous. You did Wukong.
oh, so we can't play those now.
You can't play those now. Which actually we're turning
man.
into which is the 3 least desirable.
I might have to buy an Xbox Series S if I want to
Yeah, seriously.
buy a game.
Gotta get Game Pass, man.
I
Yeah.
think Mitch and me are just gonna, or sorry, I think Evan and me are just gonna watch more horror. Or sorry, I meant my brain's not working right now.
Well, yeah, you're up so late. You're
I
up
know.
later than all of us in
Yeah.
your time zone. I was surprised you said you were going to be on because of how late it is over there on that side. I remember when I used to pull the 3 o'clock in the mornings for this podcast.
I wanted
Oh,
to.
jeez.
All right, here's the
Yeah,
updated list, gentlemen.
Is it
Replaced.
back up there?
I don't have an image of it, so you'd have to check
You
out
have to
the
watch
stream.
the stream.
Um,
It'll take like 20 seconds or so before
So,
it actually
okay.
shows up for us.
What is left
I'll say-
is Replaced, the Coalition's new
Oh, shoot,
game,
my stream went out.
Starfield, Redfall, Age of Empires, Stalker, Planet of Lana, Final Fantasy VII,
Helldivers
Rebirth,
2.
Helldivers, Forspoken, Horizon VR, Tucha, Fandivision, Silent Hill 2, Xenoblade, Season, Advance Wars 1+2, Raincode, Metal Slugs, Kirby, Pikmin, Madden, Forza, MLB The Show, Skate, UFL, Blood Bowl Tour, and then the punching game, Football Manager, and then F1 and Test Drive Unlimited
This
Solo
is a bit
queue.
like it's a bit like a reverse kill your babies type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Save
I
save the
I
ones
missed
you want to save. So out of that
I
list,
missed
what are the two you would play?
2. Oh shit, I had 3 ready to go.
Yeah, this is true.
so of the 3 I picked, I would just keep 2 of them.
Nope. Out of this new list that's available to
Oh,
Yeah,
us, what two are you willing to play?
I
of
missed
the ones
most
that
of that
remain.
because I missed most of that because my Wi-Fi froze.
Oh, no
Oh, that
worries.
sucks.
I think I'll just have to. I'll probably have to look at the old thing and try to figure out what you guys didn't
Yeah,
pick just by memory.
If you pull up
you
the
could look at
stream, I have the
you could look at
graphic
the
updated.
original one, and if it's taken, we can just tell you.
Okay.
Unless you can pull
Yeah,
up the stream on Twitch.
Or actually, here I'll help you out. Don't worry about it. I'll post a new one for you guys. I can.
You could just here.
So
I could take a crappy snapshot and post it.
I got it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's coming to me for the next 2 that I would pick.
No, we're gonna go in reverse order.
Oh Jesus! All right,
So
Stefan,
Stefan,
you better not pick anything that I would like to play.
That's not how I'm going to roll.
it's every man for themselves.
Yeah. I would like to play.
Oh, he did it already. Okay.
Rain Code.
That's his game he picked for the draft.
I know.
I don't even remember what that game is, to be honest.
It's a visual novel, like RPG type thing.
Okay.
And your second one.
Do.
All right. Put the Jeopardy music on. Um, Replaced.
Placed. Craft premium malts.
What a name.
I was
Yeah.
going back and forth between Replaced and Silent Hill. I had to think.
Replaced looks really good.
It does. That's a
Honestly.
good pick.
Yeah.
I hope it's as good as it looks.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
The thing
Yeah.
I was the reason I was going back on with the Silent Hill is if Silent
Super
Hill,
team?
yeah, well that and if Silent Hill sucks, it's like I can just go back and play the second one, like the original.
Well, you know what's funny is like a lot of people really like 2. And my favorite in the series is 4, The Room. And it gets like no love. It wasn't in the HD collection.
Game's awesome.
There's no rumors of it being remade. Like Silent Hill 2, yeah, I get it. But I don't know. I think 4 is better personally.
One of my favorite survival horror games of like the PS2 era and like back then is actually Kuon. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's from Software made it.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like Shinto priests like back in feudal Japan.
So
Nice.
my 2 I will save.
Check this.
Final Fantasy VII.
Rebirth.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
I'm also going to save Silent Hill 2 Remake. I've never played it, so I want to play the more updated version because I have the original and I think the original's fine, but it would be nice to play a more updated version of that game. And the team probably has worked very hard. I'm a fan of I liked the medium. It wasn't great. I had some problems with it, but I really liked what they did with the medium. So, yes, Matt, you're a hipster.
I'm not a hipster. I was just gonna.
You are
I was just gonna
not.
reply to Liam.
Now, be in mind, gentlemen. Keep in mind which games you have because we'll make a master list after this of which games you kept.
Of
Okay.
these last 2, you
Evan.
mean?
Oh no! There's going to be one more round and it's one game.
Oh, so
That
wait.
makes sense.
I can't choose something that you guys chose, right?
Correct. Here, I'll post the most
Ugh.
updated list.
Was I last?
Nope, Burkoff.
No,
is-
I was last.
He was first,
You're
so
last?
now he's
Okay.
last, and then we're gonna go back in the
Okay.
snake draft order.
You're snaking.
I'm
Sure.
snaking it.
Right.
Hey, Tomb Raiders, no name calling. If there's any, where's the camera? If there's anyone that's a hipster, it's me. It's definitely not Matt.
I told him that Teddy Ruxpin died
Dude.
an honorable death.
I forgot to say the Rux is back. Teddy Ruxpin from the top.
He gave
was
his
really
life for a
comfortable,
good
by the way.
cause.
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, it's updated. Good. Planet of Lana. I'm not even kidding. Like, you can throw Bethesda in the dumpster for all I care. Planet of Lana is the game that I'm like, aside from Game Pass, like indie games like Moonscars and A Ghost Song and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like those kind of $15, $20 games that have been stacking up on PlayStation, and I can save my money on a Series S. Planet of Lana is the one Xbox only game that I really, really want to play. I'm a mark for games that remind me of Inside. I think Inside is one of like the most important games that have come out in the past decade, and anything that reminds me of that, it just interests me. I know Somerville was a bit disappointing. However, I might be in the crowd that really, really likes it. I don't know. But yeah, Planet of Lana is that one. Man, there's not a lot left that I really care about. Forspoken. I'm just kidding. I like this, Mitch. You definitely made it hard. Isn't that? I don't know how to pronounce it. Chia. You're on an island. You're kind of
Yep.
like
It's Breath
like
of the
mini
Wild,
open world
little
exploring.
parachute girl.
Oh yeah, she's got a little.
Breath
There's
of the
like
Wild
some crafting and
glider
Oh.
thingy.
stuff.
Yep, I'll take that because I think that game looks like in between these more high anxiety stress games, trying to get a platinum trophy or swearing at my my TV or playing a game drunk and being severely unfair to it. This is the type of game that's going to relax me, so I will take that as my second pick.
Evan's
think I
picking a
drafted
very
that.
Evan style picks, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm a hipster. What can I say? That's
He got
I
some
had to go with
AAA, he got
yeah.
some indie, he's got a little mix. I see what you're doing
That
there.
game was supposed to come out like a year ago.
I remember seeing it. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw the initial trailer, but I remember seeing it and like, oh, it's got the Breath of the Wild like foop, the little glider.
Right.
It just looked like
yeah.
a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very colorful.
All right, Burkoff, what are your two?
All right. So this is with keeping in mind that we have one left that we have to pick.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're doing Snake, I get
You get to
the
pick
next
three,
pick.
technically.
Yeah.
So what 3 are you saving, actually?
I'm gonna go with Starfield, Metal Slug Tactics. Those would be the two. And then as the one, I'm debating between Advance Wars 1 and 2 and Stellar Blade. And I'm going to I'm gonna go with Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is the action anime game.
I
I
gotta
don't think
check
that's
this
going to
out.
turn out very good.
Very Japanese with the woman in
It
Sci-fi.
might not be that good, but all right. Let me say
Oh, this is Korean, is it not?
yeah, I think
it's
it's Korean.
Yeah.
I think it's not gonna be like wow impressive, but it's gonna be fun on a visceral level.
It looks like it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. It's like yeah. I think if you go into that game and you set your expectations
Yes.
to yeah. I think it could be a fun game.
Yeah. So that would be my pick.
All right, Evan, what is your last game to save for your own
Oh no,
sanity?
I don't like any of this shit.
Kirby's, dude.
No, but what Kirby game is this?
This is the Kirby's something
Deluxe. I think it's a
Yeah.
It's a
re-release, isn't
remaster.
it?
Who knows,
It's a
man?
remaster of the
It's
deluxe.
more it's more like a remake because they added a bunch of levels and abilities and updated the
Kinda like-
graphics.
Kind of like 3D World.
Not that much.
Okay.
I really want to play Kirby Discovery, whatever it's called. what's Forgotten
Land,
What
Forgotten
is it called?
Kingdom, or whatever.
Sorry, it's called Kirby Discovery in Japan. Yeah, that game looks cool because it reminds me of like a mash between 3D World and with the hat mechanic, kind of
Odyssey.
Odyssey. But any other Kirby game, it's like play this game for like 10 minutes, like too easy. It's not. Man, this is getting hard. Wait, is Starfield's gone? Is it?
It is
not?
gone. Burkhoff just
Yeah, yeah.
grabbed it.
All right. Okay. Oh no. I might go with. We got Vroom Vroom games. You can throw that in the fucking toilet. Strategy games.
I mean,
Absolutely not. The
I like how
Coalition.
you-
Who
I like how you're
cares?
just shitting on the genres that I like.
You name your the definitive article the plus boring name. I can't trust your studio. If that's the decision you make for the name of the studio, I can't trust any
I'm a
decisions
little
you make.
actually, Evan. I'm
at a game level.
I'm a little shocked by one that you're not just like going for right away. But I'm not going to tell you which one until you pick.
Do you think you think Redfall?
I'm not going to say it until you pick.
I like Arcane. I like Deathloop more than I thought I would because it's not actually a roguelite. Because
You
if you
would
just keep playing
be-
it, you will get through it.
You
But
would be the one to play Redfall.
I hate the
Out of
name,
all of
though.
us.
It goes against everything that I hate. But they did say it's more like, and this might be like marketing fluff. They said it's closer to something like the survival portions of Far Cry 2 than what you think.
Did you see the gameplay they just showed off recently? Just saying.
I did not watch the Xbox Direct or whatever that was.
Gave me
I
Left
didn't
4
watch
Dead
it.
vibes.
I've never played Left 4 Dead, nor do I care about such a game.
It was definitely not
Weren't they-
Far Cry. It was definitely not Far Cry.
Stalker 2 is Stalker like what's that kind of Eastern European really depressing post-apocalyptic world
Metro Exodus.
series?
Yeah, similar to Metro.
Is that like a
Exodus.
Metro game?
Similar, yeah.
It's yeah.
I would say it's more
I played-
survival-ish, though, right?
I don't like I have to eat food and drink
I don't-
water. Like I don't like any of that
I don't
shit.
feel like you're gonna have to be changing the canisters on your gas mask or anything.
Did anyone
That's a
pick?
very important aspect of it. I
Did
might
I-
go. Sorry, go ahead.
Did
Swallowman.
anyone pick Silent Hill yet?
Yeah, I took it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gone. Otherwise, I would have chosen it. I'm not paying $8 million for a PSVR 2, so Horizon is off the table.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I am
hold on.
interested
Costs
in
aside,
VR.
cost aside, you don't have to worry about cost and paying for it.
No, because it's going to be 3 hours long. It's my issue with it.
Yeah.
I might go. You know what? I've never played Stalker, so I can't say. I'm going with Season.
That's
I think-
actually the game I was gonna say. I was surprised you weren't talking about because it was right up your alley of indie. Like,
that's
you're
a palate cleanser in between two bigger games for sure.
You already got
So-
the other
Yeah.
indie stylistic one. Why not go for the other one?
And it's out soonish. I've heard good things about it, for the most part. But yeah, I don't know much about the. I might have chosen Stalker, but I don't know much about the series, so I can't say anything.
I'm
About
sorry,
it, but yeah,
Dan.
I'll go Season.
I'm sorry, Dan. I'll speak for you, Evan, on this case. Dan, stop trying to make Redfall happen for Evan. It's not gonna happen.
I need a Series. Well, is that game gonna run well on a Series S? Because I'm not spending the money on an X. That's the problem.
It'll be fine.
It'll probably run fine in cloud. To be honest with you.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I can't say anything. I don't know.
Okay.
This one's a pretty easy pick for me. I'm going Pikmin 4. Because
Okay.
Pikmin, it's kind of up my alley. It's also a good palate cleanser for the games I have. It's got a very different tone to it. It's a little bit more light and fluffy and happy, where I got some really hard hitter depression hard hitting games. So this one will be a good palate cleanser for myself, to give me some sanity with my life. Stefan, I'm gonna grab another screenshot for you so you can see what's.
Well, I know what I'm gonna pick.
Oh,
Ready?
okay, go for it.
What game?
All right. Round 4 is a knife fight to the death. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, What are you
So
talking about? This is the last pick.
yeah,
He's
oh,
gonna pick Forspoken.
actually, the last one. I was gonna pick Forspoken, but as as a streaming thing, so I could stream because I have my own Twitch account as like a streaming thing for
Sure.
people like to be
Yeah.
amused by my suffering, or if for some weird reason I like the game, but more people to be amused by what I'm playing. But that would be like in a year's time when it's free on PS Plus or something.
Okay, so what game do you really pick?
Um, there's not really anything to pick now.
Fantavision 2020X? That
That
looks
doesn't
cool.
interest.
Come on,
That
man.
doesn't
It's right
interest.
there for the
No,
taking.
that
What are you
doesn't
doing?
interest me at all.
How did that even get on the list? Like,
That was Erebus
Ask
Jones.
Erebus Jones.
Erebus
oh
Jones
wow.
picked it.
Uh,
It was his
I typically don't.
PlayStation exclusive.
I typically don't. So I don't like racing games,
right,
sports games,
right.
and usually I don't like the heavy simulation stuff. But I'm gonna pick Stalker because
Okay.
Stalker
It's a good
2
pick.
and try that.
I feel like that's a solid, what, 20-hour first person shooter. At
Yeah.
least that's what it feels like it's aiming for.
But like a meaningful first-person shooter, not all that
Right.
mindless shit that everyone
Right.
plays.
Slightly more than your average Call of Duty campaign. It's got more collectibles and it's a little more hardcore. Yeah.
Real quick, are both Dan and Liam watching right now?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
I got a joke for them because they can see it. My uncle taught me this when he was just here. He goes, how does this go? Why can the queen not wave with this hand? Like full, you go first off, she's dead, but and then you go because it's my hand.
Boo! I'm just kidding. There you go, Mitch. I'm kind of disappointed that like one of those old school Japanese mahjong games that as these little thumbnails disappear, there wasn't a naked anime girl behind this. You know, it's just I know you didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but
Oh my god.
I was.
You're doing this to me, man. What are you doing? Okay, so just talk for a month. Just talk for a little bit as I set up the final graphic with your games next to your faces, and then we can go over a final list.
Damn,
Okay,
just
so
breaking out all the stops for the video viewers.
I mean,
what do we think this says about what's left? What does it say about Redfall? I mean, this is only 3 people, and we don't care about. I'm the one that cares most about Arcane. I don't like the territory that they're going into. If this was a single player deal, I would have picked it. But
honestly, like when they first announced Redfall, they're like, it's a hero based blah blah blah. I'm like,
right,
no, fucking
they totally
out.
marketed
I'm
it that
out.
way. Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
yeah,
absolutely. Like, cut it.
like I'm not interested in playing your fucking Overwatch, whatever the hell you're trying to do
Yeah.
with that. Like,
Yeah.
I want a single player immersive sim, damn it. Like that's what you guys should be fucking making. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah. I will say, and I sent this. I have a couple friends in Milwaukee that I exposed Fist of the North Star to at a very early age. That sounds dirty. That's not how it's meant to sound. But we all love Fist of the North Star, even though it's totally ridiculous, over the top, this action manga anime. But I
Yeah.
just sent them a message of the teaser trailer for Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star for the Switch. It looks terrible. It looks so shit. But I actually might fucking buy it because it's just so weird. It's so novel
There's
that I'm like,
the fighting
you're
game
punching with the
that's coming out soon.
Joy-Con to beat up like Rao and Jagi and all these Mad Max inspired post-apocalyptic wasteland punks. Sorry,
Yeah.
what did you say?
There's the fighting game that's coming out too. Which
Is there a fighting game coming out?
Yeah, and it's gonna be, or maybe it's already out.
I can't
Maybe
even read what McWomble wrote in the chat. You can just read it. I'm not saying that out loud.
no, yeah, I'm not gonna say that out loud either. If you are interested, you have approximately 14 days to watch the Twitch replay
Sure.
and see what's in chat.
You know,
No, I think there was a fighting game that was already released. You and I had talked about it, and I was like, "Oh, would you get this?" And you're like, "No, I don't like fighting games." It's going to be on Game Pass though, um, because it's going to be
Series
on Game
S.
Pass. Because it's going to be on Game Pass, I think I'll at least play a half hour of
Oh,
it. You know?
Tomb Raiders is right. You're mixing up JoJo with Fist of the North Star
Oh
because they just
shit!
released. So that game was a PlayStation 3 game. It came out obviously a while ago, and it's like a re-release, a PlayStation
Okay,
4 or 5 re-release of a PlayStation 3 game, the JoJo
both
fighting game.
both
Yeah.
Liam and Keith called me out on that. Yeah.
Yep. So Tomb Raiders is saying that I know he got the platinum in that game, which doff of the hat to you, man. I got I think I got like 53% into that platinum, and there's just several things I needed to do where they do it better in the games that come out after it, but you're not sure when someone sees you or not, and you could finish an entire mission, which might take an hour or more, and then when it lists all your information, be like, oh, you were seen once. It's like I didn't know I was seen once, and that completely eliminates the platinum for like ghosting. So then you have to do it over, even though you can save scum, and that's what kept me from doing it. So yeah, I still need to play the Dishonored 2 DLC. I played through the first mission, which is awesome. I don't know why I didn't go back to it, but
did you play Prey?
yeah, I love Prey. I know a lot of people don't like it, but dude, and I did the bad playthrough of that. I didn't I went the completely human route, which means I didn't get any of the cool powers that you get from the shadow creatures, which makes it a much more boring game because you can't like morph into coffee mugs and do
Did you
all
do
this cool
that?
shit. And I still liked it. Yeah.
Did you do that for a platinum?
No, I was like, I think I'm gonna go the human route. Well, I actually, you know what? I think initially that was my plan, and then I probably looked at the trophy list. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But no, I love like everything they've done. Like even Deathloop to a lesser degree, because you have to keep going to the same locations over and over and over, because it does have a roguelike element to it.
I,
But I
yeah,
still enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
I did want to like Prey, but it's so depressing because you're
It's a
just
dude.
alone.
Oh, totally. Have so you played the opening area, right? Where
Yeah,
you're in the apartment?
I played maybe um 5 or 8 hours around there.
McWomble's yelling at us. McWomble, we're waiting for Mitch to put the
Yeah,
The
McWomble,
graphic together.
we're
final,
done with picking. I'm trying to show everybody
yeah.
what they
Yeah.
picked. Uh,
It's the
but
only reason
but
we're going
but
we're
the
going on
other
about this
question I
stuff. We're
would
waiting.
pose to you guys, as I'm getting very close, but as I'm posing the question to you guys right now, what be like you talked about Redfall? Not it's like we just did not pick Redfall. We chose not to save
Right.
Redfall.
Yeah.
What does that really have to say though about that game, or what does it have to say about all the other games we picked?
Well,
Uh,
Deathloop, I don't know what that game is, so I'm not
still,
interested in it.
You know what? They showed us 7 different trailers for it, and even after that, I still didn't know what it was. And it seems like Redfall is falling under the same category to maybe a lesser degree. Or just isn't it weird though? That you are totally right though. Like what it says about that game is they're bad at telling us what their games are about. At least the last 2 games.
yeah.
That was the joke. The running joke for Deathloop is like, I don't know what this game is. And then when the game was released, there's all these quick looks. It's like Deathloop isn't what you think it is, and all these types of things. It's just the mixed messaging is weird to me.
And then didn't it sell like really poorly because people didn't know what it was.
Well, it also is a first party exclusive. Like let's
Yeah.
be honest about that. It's you're not going
But
to sell as many
I mean,
copies.
but even with that in mind, weren't they expecting it to sell more?
I mean, I don't know. I guess the one thing I could say to its defense is they've always been a niche developer. They've never really
Yeah.
broken into like the mainstream, so like to expect high sales numbers from that developer is asking a lot, in my opinion.
I mean, judging on like how middling most of their sales were, I think always it would be weird if they thought like, all right, this is it. Arcane's gonna hit the big time. I just don't think it's the studio. The games they play are a bit more niche.
I
Like the
would,
games they
Yeah.
make.
Yeah, the games they
I mean,
make are
more
niche. Yeah.
I
I
would really
still
like them to remake what was that fantasy game they did like decades, like 20 years ago on the
Well, I was gonna
PC?
say I was gonna say I still have Arx Fatalis on my wish
Yeah,
list.
Yeah, there you go.
there's like a big
It's
mod coming out for it.
yeah, so that's one of those games that like it shows up on Steam sales for like $3, right? And I still don't pull the trigger on
You
it,
shouldn't.
even though I do want to play it. The it has this like really interesting rune mechanic where you have to mouse the magic symbols. Um,
It's
and I
yeah, that
just
that spell system is unplayable on modern PCs.
right, yeah, it's like I still just haven't bothered to buy it because of that,
But
unfortunately.
the accuracy is for modern PCs, the since like our PCs, the frame rate
It's so high. Yeah.
so high, it's so inaccurate. It's like so like drawing like a spell, a lot of times your spells just won't work.
Right. You can I guess hotkey up to
If
two or three
yeah,
spells total.
it's still really clunky.
Right.
Matt, what's that game from that studio that was owned by the baseball player that you really like?
Kingdoms of
Kingdoms of
Amalur.
Amalur,
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Game
good.
Studios by Kurt Schilling.
I think it's like because you know that game that Swanland just mentioned. That's like that plus your spider's DNA. It's all mixing together. That you know these things and you're like ready to push the button on this game that no one's ever heard of. Which is like
Yeah.
I like that we're all different and
No,
we all learn something from each other.
I think Matt and
That
me
sounded
are
patronizing, but it's not.
I
I'm
think
being genuine with that
I think Matt
statement.
and me are very much alike actually because I know all these games that you just
Right.
mentioned too.
Yeah,
I
See,
absolutely.
put a lot of
Matt
hours
will
into
say
that
a
game.
game, and I guess Swanland, you as well. And I'll look it up on YouTube. And like I've never
I
like
have no
Kuon,
idea.
dude. I looked up Kuon as you. I was like, I have never
Oh, you would love
seen.
it. You would
I've
absolutely
never heard a
love it.
whisper of this game in my entire life.
It's
So
one of the
I'm
most
definitely looking.
expensive. It's one of the most expensive games you can buy.
It does look Japanese. I do love the. I'm watching Ganibal. It sounds weird to say it that way. Ganibaru. It just is kind of like remote, like uh, mountain Japanese town that has this cop has some trouble in the big city and he gets relocated to this small town and there's things going on behind the scenes in this town and not everything as it seems. It's mysterious. There's uh, lots of like weird kind of like horror like things going on. Like I like stuff like that, and this
Yeah.
kind of has a
Kuon
an
is like
interesting kind of feel to
Kuon
that
is
sort of thing.
so Kuon is like if Bloodborne met Silent Hill. So like
Interesting.
all your attacks are like until prayer papers. Like that's your ammunition that you have. Um, and you know how in Bloodborne you have like the special arts and that and you use that as ammunition. Um, and then for healing, all you do is you have to stop and meditate, and so you can heal as many times as you
That's cool.
want. Um, but if you're hit during meditation, you'll take damage.
Oh shit, you're an onmyoji in Kyoto. That's awesome. So onmyoji is a you're like a priest that's able to like ward off demons. It's like a
Yeah,
special occupation that
and you use
you're
like
called in to like you're an exorcist basically.
yeah,
It's a
and
Japanese version of an
you
exorcist.
use those paper things as like your different spells.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And
Look at this.
there's two characters you play as. I think they're like sisters maybe, and depending on how you do and like the time you or how much time it takes you to go through, that's what it will determine
Oh, dude,
ending.
it takes place in Kyoto. This is awesome.
Speaking
Play
of
this.
speaking of
McWomble
games
is loving this conversation, by the way.
yeah, speaking of games that take place in Japan, McWomble says Yakuza 0 is shit. Homeless guy wants me to buy them fucking champagne. Fuck off.
Yeah,
I know exactly where he's at in
that's
the
why
game,
it's so cool.
and he's like maybe 4 hours into the beginning of the game.
Dude, he
Final,
won't. He won't last. That game will break him.
Real quick,
I
Come on,
don't
McWomble.
hope
another,
so.
another thing about that it's cool, like that's like Silent Hill, is that you can pick difficulty both in terms of combat and puzzles.
Smart.
Nice. Okay.
I like. I'm watching on YouTube. I like what I'm seeing. This is pretty cool. All right, are we Mitch, where are we at with this?
I'm just missing one of your games, Evan. I just can't think of which one it is. I got you Zelda, Season, Tucci, Planet of Luna, and Blasphemous 2, but I forgot what the sixth one is.
Final Fantasy 16.
You did pick
Yeah.
that.
I like how every time you say the name of that game that we can't pronounce, you say it differently, and I think I've done the same. Let's just keep that going. Not in disrespect of the game, just because we don't know how to pronounce it.
Then what was my
T'Challa?
Then what was my sixth pick? Because I have Spider-Man, Pikmin, Final Fantasy. Oh, what? 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Come on, man. You're doing the name that game mistake of Shane.
I
He's
know.
not writing down the people who have won, and he's telling them to
Sorry,
stop.
Totally.
Like, dude, you're doing this for a year every week. Write down the names of the people that won that year. What are you doing?
Oh my god. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm kicking myself.
OTAPs, don't worry. I have Evan's cheese. I don't know if they can't see it.
Look at that.
I like
Damn it.
how
They can't
Otaps has
see it.
contributed with his own emoji.
I love that. I love it. Only do that, please. All right.
Weird. Okay, I can't remember what my sixth one was. I'd have to go back and figure it out. But I was like, I swear I picked Final Fantasy 16 because you had Metal. No, Burkoff had Metal Slug Tactics.
Yep.
Because I just have Spider-Man 2, Pikmin.
All right, wait, hold on. We have to go through the full list then to figure out what your pick was.
Oh yeah, I put images on there. I could tell what I'm missing.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is what you're missing?
No, I got that on the list. I got Spider-Man 2.
Jedi Survivor?
I don't
No,
know. That was Stefan.
That was Stefan.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. OTAP's
Fire
just
Emblem,
shameless. This guy is just flooding the chat with his own face. It's ridiculous.
I know, I love it.
Final Fantasy.
It's pretty good.
Zelda, 2 years.
Silent Hill 2?
Nope, I took it. Pikmin, Spider-Man, Hellblade. What am I missing? So weird. Did I not pick?
Did you do Benedict Fox?
No, that was you.
Oh, it's Hellblade too.
Nope, I got
No, he
that.
just said that like
You
twice.
just said that?
Yeah, what am I missing?
This podcast is going off the rails here.
I know.
As we try to piece this back
I
together.
had it for
We lost it.
We lost it. I don't know which one I didn't, or did I just not pick? 2.
Did you? Maybe that's possible. Yeah, you just didn't pick because I'm looking at the entire list.
And there's no way.
Who picked Hogwarts?
I did.
Yeah, he picked
Okay.
Hogwarts.
I picked Hogwarts in the first one. I picked, if I remember right, I picked Hogwarts, Star Wars, and Benedict Fox.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then you got Stalker replaced in Rain Code.
Oh, Pikmin 4?
Already got that on the list.
Damn it. All
I
right.
know.
Who picked Kirby's?
I don't think anyone did.
No one picked Kirby. Kirby was left off the list.
Poor
Nah,
Kirby.
That's a shame.
Poor Kirby's.
That Eldritch Horror.
Yeah. Kirby is the old
All
one.
right, let's
the
let's
older
move on.
six,
Let's move on to the other
4,
graphic
6.
and let's just see if we can figure it out from there.
That's all right. So
Yeah, I got about 15 minutes.
Let's
Oh,
Sherlock
good.
Holmes this shit.
So this is the final results. We have Wukong, Starfield, Stellar Blade, Fire Emblem Engage, Metal Slug Tactics, and Assassin's Creed Mirage for Matthew. Then we got Final Fantasy 16, Zelda, Season. Don't know how
T'Challa.
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 Planet of Luna, and Blasphemous 2 for Evan. And then we got Replaced, Raincode, Stalker 2, Case of Benedict Fox, Jedi Survivor, and Hogwarts Legacy for Stefan. And then myself, I have Spider-Man 2, Pikmin 4, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. And some other game that I didn't pick. Just try to do one more scan to see what I'm missing. I'm starting to think I just didn't pick one. And so just to do one anyway, I'm going to go with the old favorite Madden.
Well, that's fair, right? Like, it's a fun game every year.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the old school Mr. Madden himself. So wherever Madden is, I'm just going to pop her right here.
Take a left turn, boom, right in the ocean.
And bada bing, bada boom. Madden's on my list. All right.
Nice.
So, you know what? Actually, I don't think I picked a final. Oh, no, I did pick a final game. Anyway, all right. Thank you so much for listening. This is Pixel Pints. We stream every single weekend on twitch.tv/pixelpints. If you want to follow us when we go live, you can follow us on Twitter at pixel_pints or on Instagram, but we just post pictures there, but that's Pixel Pints Pod. We stream every single weekend here on twitch.tv/pixelpints, but we archive every single episode here on Twitch, also on YouTube, and on podcast services around the globe. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. This was a very visual heavy one, and I appreciate my co-hosts for holding up as soon as I create these nice graphics for them, where we just fit their faces just enough that it just fits. They're surrounded by all the games they must play now. Oh, Evan, you just how's the munching going for you?
He's feasting on all these games that are surrounding him.
I'm surprised he's not licking Blasphemous because he's hoping it comes out this year. Anyway,
shit, you're right.
Wrong way. Gotta
Wrong
go
way.
the other way.
Did I do it the wrong way?
Yeah, that's the other direction. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy the show. And Burkoff, what do we always say?
And on that note, we're out. Dude, you know what I forgot to mention? Every time we go live on a weekend night, we always go up against Amaran. Tonight, we were up against Adriana Chechik. I don't know if that's her name.
I see it.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that person, but I see that now.
And Sasha Grey, which are both porn stars. There's no way that we can compete with two porn stars.
Well, one's